Calico fans, this is H.H. German from Sigma Comics, and I'm coming to you tonight from the greatest city in the world. It's New York City. And tonight we have another video. I'm sorry, it's been a while. I've been extremely busy working on issue 8 of Here Comes Calico, the highly anticipated final issue of Here Comes Calico. So I've been very hard at work, so again, apologies for not putting out videos that often. Well, once you have the Calico mug out, you know what time it is. So I'm going to take a swig and then we'll get to it. So good. You know what? I think I'll take another swig. Very good. All right, so a video came out very recently. A gentleman by the name of Glenn. This fellow is a comic store owner. I believe he's from the Massachusetts area, given his accent. And let's just say this gentleman was not too pleased with the state of comics these days. And he was very vocal about his opinion that the comic book writers today, the creators today, have an agenda in their stories that conflicts with the job, the duty, frankly, of storytelling. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we continue, hit the like button, please, and also hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We certainly welcome you, and I think you're going to like what you hear with respect to comics, the state of comics, and the opinions that are out there, and just the overall state of the market, the industry. All right, well, the gentleman again, Glenn, comic book store owner, he is really just echoing many of the sentiments that are out there right now in comics. And I'll give you a little backgrounder in terms of my reintroduction into comics. I used to read comics as a kid. You know, I read comics from a very young age, all the way through high school. And I stopped reading comics about, I would say, my senior year. I'm sorry, my freshman year of college. And it was mainly because I was extremely busy with my studies, and also I was also a very high level athlete. I was a prize fighter, a boxer. So at that time I was in the New York City amateur system. And that takes quite a bit of time from your schedule. You can't really play boxing. So it's a lot of work, and I just didn't really have time for comics anymore. But I always loved them. I did go to art school. I went to the School of Visual Arts. So I do have an arts background, and certainly was always surrounded and immersed in the arts. And, you know, a privilege it was to have that kind of background. So when it came time to get back into comics in my 40s, and I did so mainly because of the quarantine, the COVID situation. I was actually training for some boxing matches, and all of my fights were canceled. And the person I was dating at the time said, listen, now's the time to get that idea you had off the table, the shelf. And I did that, and that's Here Comes Calico. I didn't just jump into the industry. What I did was I picked up quite a few comic books to see what the overall state of the comics were. And as I read through some of them, I was frankly shocked at the quality, the deterioration in the craft of the storytelling. And this would have been early 2020, during the quarantine, when I did go to a comic book shop, one of the few that were open. And I was able to purchase, you know, a stack of comics. And I was shocked. I didn't expect the quality to be what it was. And then I started going on YouTube. You know, YouTube had been for me a source of information that was truly vetted, because it was from all around the world, and it wasn't a main expert. You know, when you get a book on something, you always have to trust the guidance of the creator, the writer, right? to give you the right advice. Well, the wonderful thing about YouTube is it's this very free, open architecture where you get data from multiple sources, and together, they call that metadata, right? So it's a wonderful metadata way to get accurate information about a subject that you want to learn more about. And that's precisely what I did. I started watching these videos on people's commentary on the state of comics, and of course reviews of different comics. And the main takeaway was what I had, which was the level of quality simply wasn't there. And much of it was readily evident. The thing about comic books is it's a visual medium, so you can look at a comic book and just visually see whether, or not whether, but you can assess the quality of the visuals. And I would say, collectively speaking, definitely a notable difference from what I was used to back in the early to mid 90s to now. It was something that I wasn't shocked as I was with the writing, with the visuals, because there are quite a few just extraordinarily talented artists out there working today. But I think what they have going for them is the technology has advanced in terms of the production quality of these comics. So aesthetically, from a visual perspective, while I did glean a difference between the quality of the artistry now, just again collectively speaking, versus then, there were some really good artists out there as well. And of course, they were all helped by the technology that you have today, the production quality. Once you cracked one of these open, the takeaway I had most certainly was that the writing, just the storytelling, just wasn't there. So that, coupled with the overall critiques, allowed me to feel comfortable to take a risk and start working on a self-published title, that being Sigma Comics. All right, assemble a team, an A-team, a crack team of commandos, creative commandos, to address a social ill, which of course is the fight against animal abuse, or animal abuse is the social ill, and of course we address it by fighting against it through Here Comes Calico, which, by the way, issue 8 is available right now for pre-order on Kickstarter. And those of you who did not pick up issue 7, it is currently available as well as part of that Kickstarter. All you have to do is go on Kickstarter.com and type in Here Comes Calico. Anyway, back to the story. So, Glenn, the comic book store owner, overall, I would say I agree with him. I think that his exact words were that the writers shouldn't be inserting themselves into the characters. Okay, that's called a self-insert. When you have a comic book character that's been around for generations, let's say Captain America. This is someone who's definitely been around for generations. Okay, Captain America goes back to if I'm not mistaken, to the 40s and 50s. Certainly well before Spider-Man and some of the other characters. But Captain America is one of the pillars, if you will, of the Marvel universe, right? So you have people, I'm just using Captain America as an example, as a character that's been around for a long time. But the sentiment is, and again, I believe it is a fair one, that many of these writers today aren't really writing the characters. They're writing themselves into the stories and through the characters. And I do agree that it's not a healthy thing to do. It's not a smart thing to do. It's not in any way an ethical thing to do, frankly, for a character that's been around for generations, that people have been buying into, have been investing in the brand of these characters for generations. Just imagine, I used this example in a previous interview. I sort of made the relationship with fast food or restaurants, right? In the case that I used was a fast food restaurant, McDonald's. People go to McDonald's to have a very specific branded experience. Okay, when they see the yellow arches on the highway, there's something that causes them to turn off the highway and go right to that McDonald's. Okay, and that's that branded experience. It's brand recognition first. Okay, and they're after the brand experience. They want that specific taste of that hamburger, the French fries, the shake, whatever it is that they're looking for, the soda, whatever it is. They're not getting that right now in comics. Okay, the ethical responsibility of a creator that is writing a character that was created and put on the map by other creators with a lot of sweat equity. Okay, for you to come out of nowhere and just start writing your own, traits into this character, it's simply, it's creatively unethical. It really lacks ethics and morals. And I think, frankly, I think there should be an oath. Doctors have the Hippocratic Oath that they take, which at its essence communicates their sincere effort to always do what is best for the patient. This needs to happen in comics. Every creator that takes the pen, that wields the pen, okay, on behalf of these characters that have been around for generations, Marvel and DC being the main companies that have these characters, they should take an oath. There should be a comic book creator oath that one takes when they create these when they set forth to create any content based on these beloved characters that are part of Americana. I'll have you understand. Comic books is an American original. Okay, this is something like jazz music. It comes from here. It's cultivated here. We have an ethical responsibility to treat these wonderful characters with respect, dignity, and understand that there is an audience for these characters that's out there consuming this content on a regular basis, that's supporting these characters. For you to come and do what you want there and put the apron and go in the back and start serving things that are nothing like what's on the menu, that taste absolutely nothing like what these customers are used to, it's malpractice. It's creative malpractice. Shame on you for turning around and then insulting this fellow who has been in and around comics for probably before you were born. Okay, and it's very disrespectful, and it's also very short-sighted. This is the customer. This is the individual that's buying in bulk these products to put in the store to further cultivate an industry that you are part of. Shame on you. Truly shame on you. We don't really get into politics, and I know there's a current of politics going into it. Politics pertains to people. We're all about comics and animals. So we don't get into that. Our customers come from all walks of life, all perspectives politically, all that stuff. We don't care about that stuff. We care about creating quality content behind the mission. Okay, that's our promise. Okay, unfortunately, that has gone out the window at Marvel and DC, and they've abandoned the essence of the creation process. And shame on them for that. That's why the future's with the indies. And I encourage you out there to go to your local comic shop, go find them out. Okay, those of you who don't buy comics regularly, go support your local comic book shop. Now here, that's in the holidays, they need your help because the mismanagement that has happened at Marvel and DC over the past, I'd say, 10 to 15 years, and even further than that, I'd say it goes back to 20, 25 years. This has caused just a significant decline in the industry. Go out there. You're a comic book fan. You're an animal lover too. Go out to your local comic book shop. Buy some comics. And, you might find a title, again, an indie title, that really resonates with you. Here Comes Calico certainly has resonated with you. And we certainly welcome you to Kickstarter.com, to back Here Comes Calico issue 8 and the rest of the series. Go to Kickstarter.com, type in Here Comes Calico, and you'll see the whole series there. Get it. It's a wonderful gift for the holidays. But you know what? Also go to your local comic book shop. They're going to be happy to see you, and they need your support. So listen, guys, that's it for now. But always remember what we're here for. Keep on fighting. for animals.